God will get this holy nation of people. Because as we train our children up in the way that they should go in the fear and the admonition of the Lord, then it won't depart from it. Because that's what happened to all of us in this room. Amen. All of us in this room has come short and fall short of his glory. All of us have sinned and messed up. And guess what? He took us back. Amen. Come on, did he find us? Yet while we were sinners, he was running after us. Yet while we were sinners, he came after us. Yet while we were sinners, he came and got us and rescued us out of the darkness and brought us into his marvelous light. I wish I had some praying people. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm moving on, y'all. Y'all looking at me like the Super Bowl, man. You told me it won't be that long. I don't care nothing about it. In 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 and verse 10, hear these words of Peter. He says, the end of all things is near. Therefore, be of sound judgment and sober spirit for the purpose of prayer. I want y'all to get that. As each one has received a special gift, this is verse 10, employ it in serving one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. He tells us the end of all things is near. That's because the kingdom, see, Peter thought that the end was coming when he was living. He thought that Jesus was going to come back and return the second advent during that time and was going to rapture up the church. The end of all things are near. I want y'all to be praying. He wanted us to be praying concerning the purpose of prayer. He wanted us to have the spirit of being, sound judgment and a sober spirit is being able to discern the times. Can you discern the times? You ought to be able to, because if you're a prayer warrior or if you pray, period, if you're an intercessor, you ought to be able to discern the times. You ought to be able to see that we're living in the last days. Yeah. I wish I had some praying people in here. Amen. This is about pray first and prayer and the power that's behind it. A mind victimized by emotions and passions, out of control, or knocked out of balance by worldly lusts and pursuits, is a mind that cannot know the fullness of holy communion in prayer with God. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7, it tells us men, pray to God and treat our wives right because they are the weaker vessel. That's right. Watch over them and take care of them and make sure that we do right by them. He says, because at the end of that verse of scripture, he says, your prayers can be hindered. Right. I'll wait for that. You better read the Bible. I gave you the verse of scripture. Amen. You better read the Bible. Your prayers can be hindered. That means that if you live in foul and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, and you're not treating a woman of God or your wife like you're supposed to be treated or whatever, guess what? Your prayers probably go that far. That's it. They hit the ceiling. They hit the roof, and that's it. They stop. Because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not living right. Y'all need to read the Bible. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It's in there. A mind that is fixed on, watch this, his return is purified. 1 John chapter 3, verse 3. And enjoys the fullness of fellowship with the Lord. Your mind is purified when you've got a fixed mind on Jesus Christ and his return. Yes. I know he's coming back. Yes. Because he says this in John 14, I go to prepare a place for you. Yeah. A prepared place for a prepared people. I preached that not too long ago. I'm going to probably bring it back because I need to preach it again. A prepared place for prepared people. Why? It's because he says, where I am, you will be also. Yeah. He says, I'm coming back for you. And that's why I know I'm going to heaven. If you say, Pastor, how do you know you're going to heaven? What guarantee is it? It's because he said, I go to prepare a place for you. Yeah. Now, he's speaking to me now. I don't know if he's speaking to you personally, but he's speaking to me. I go to prepare a place for you. And where I go, you shall be also. That's it. I'm coming back for you. I won't come again. Now, see, that's personal. So that means that you need to know that for yourself personally. That's right. You need to know that he said these words that you know you got a guarantee in heaven. Lastly, Jesus is calling lost souls out of darkness and into his everlasting love and his light. He is also calling us to follow him into a world which desperately needs salvation only he can give. So he says, pray and go to these disciples right here. Pray and go. When he gave us the Great Commission in Matthew 28, he said, go and make disciples of them. So he didn't just instruct us to go and make disciples. He wants you to, first of all, use some wisdom. You got to pray before you go. Yes. I wish I had some praying people in here. You got to pray, and some things come by fasting and prayer. Yeah. And so this is a time message right here. Uh-huh. I'm preaching about your time. What are you doing with your time? Are you even spending time with the Lord and praying? But you want to witness to somebody. Are you even spending time with the Lord in the Word? But you want to quote some scriptures you heard somebody else say on TV, TVJ. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready for what? Are you meditating on what you've studied? Have you even thought about what the words mean to you, what it's saying to you when those words come off the page? Do you even take time to go behind those words and dig a little deeper and not just go off the surface? So that you can make it a practical part of your everyday living. You know, he said, James says these words, he says, the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. And he says, he don't just want you to be a reader and a hearer of the word in James chapter 1. He said, but he wants you to be a doer. Are you practicing what you preach? Because guess what? Everybody sees it. Yes. Huh? Yes. If you wonder why folk talk to you the way they do and they don't respect you or whatever the case may be, it's because they see you faking. You're a hypocrite. You're fake. Jesus brought it out to the Pharisees and the scribes and the Sadducees. He says, you vipers. You brood of vipers. You snakes. He called them straight out. In their face. Woe to you. Bounding these people up with your legalistic words, with your highfalutin, your sophisticated, your high sedated words, and you walking around here acting like you the man. Everybody got to open doors for you, and yes sir, no sir, and greet you and respect you, but you don't even respect yourself, because Jesus was saying in so many words, you don't respect me. They tried to kill him. Yes, they did. Just for telling the truth. And he called them out on the carpet. Call them vipers. Call them whitewashed tombs. Yeah. You know what? You got to think about. You got to think about what are people calling you? What do people think about you? Do you care about what people think about you? I mean, I'm talking about as a child of God. Now I ain't talking about as just a person. Just your person, because your person stinks. I'm talking about you're sinful. You're rotten. You're messed up. I'm talking about when we in Christ. I'm talking about when we're in Christ and we know the Lord. Yeah. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about when you've been transformed and when you've been changed. Yeah. I'm talking about, can people see that? If they cussing you out because you know Jesus, Peter said it's good to suffer for that man. Lord have mercy. He said it's all right to suffer for that man. And people talking about you bad and all that kind of stuff. You know how you live. But if you're living foul and people can see right through that. Yeah. I know this was hard. Y'all said, dang, Pastor, you came out of the gate. You came out of the gate blasting. It's February. We're fasting. And we're praying. We're seeking him because we want this amazing 2019, and I'm trying to show you how you get it. Amen. It's going to be amazing for me. I don't know about you, but I've called it for you. I've asked the Lord to bless everyone in here with an amazing 2019. But I'm calling my year. I'm calling it for me and my family. As for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord. I'm calling it for my house. But this is the way that you start it. Spend that time with him. Pray and go. The Lord of the harvest is waiting. Luke chapter 10, verse 2. All you got to do is pray the Lord of the harvest. If you wonder what you're doing sitting in this building today, it's because I prayed for you. Amen. I pray that God will send you here. I wish I had some praying people in here with me. I prayed for you 5 years ago. Lord, send me some folk that know you personally. That I don't have to train up. That I don't have to do a whole bunch of training with, that's ready to, willing to serve you and worship you and live for you. And guess what? You're here today because of 5 years ago, I was praying, Lord, send me some folk. You the Lord of the harvest. You know what we stand in need of. And I got some witnesses in here to know I was praying that prayer. So they were praying it with me. 5 years ago. And you're here today because of the Lord of the harvest. Watch this, and I'm finishing. He has promised that we will reap a harvest if we do not give up in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. There is a shortness of time and great urgency for the task at hand. And it all starts with praying first and the power of prayer. I don't know about you on today, but you need to be in prayer. Not just for this fast. You need to be talking to him constantly. And you don't need to be begging and asking for stuff. Notice how Jesus told them guys this. Notice how Jesus told them guys this. He said, you can't take nothing with you. Notice how he said, don't take no traveler's bag, don't take no suitcase or luggages and extra change of clothes, shoes. Don't take no money with you. Because now you're going to have to step out on faith. Now you're going to have to exercise your faith. Now you're going to see how the sovereign God of the universe provides. Now you're going to see how he takes care of you. Then pray and go. And he did that because he wanted to make sure that they understood that the Father was going to be taking care of them. That they could depend on him and that he would uphold his promises. What about you today? Do you depend on him when you pray? I'm serious. I mean, really, do you depend on him when you pray? Or do you just pray and think that he's supposed to, wave his magic wand or something and grant you your wish? I mean, do you think he's supposed to grant you your wish? Because he's not a genie. He's not a magician. He's not going to grant you a wish. He don't grant wish. Now, if you ask him to grant favor, he'll grant you favor. I ask him all the time, so Lord, let me walk in your favor. And do you know that he does it? He does it. And it could be little things. It doesn't have to be, listen, I'm not looking for him to give me a whole lot. When I ask him to let me walk in his favor, it might be that I don't have no money and I need something to eat. I need some lunch. And somebody come along and say, hey, look, Pastor, I've been trying to get up with you, man. Let me take you to lunch. I get this all the time. Folk just drop stuff off by here. They just drop stuff off on me. That is the favor of God. This trip is coming up to California. Guess what? That's the favor of God. I ain't worried about it. I don't even know how I'm getting there yet. Guess what? All my reservations are made. I wait for the advance. I'm flying up out of here March the 4th. Don't know how I'm going to get there and get back. But guess what? I believe he already got it worked out. I said he's already worked it out for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen.
I'm going.
Yes.
I'm going because I trust him. I depend on him. I believe in him. And I know he will. I asked him for his favor. You can ask him the same thing. Ask him, just try this. Try this for tomorrow. Lord, let me walk in your favor. Just try it. That'll be your prayer. When you get up in the morning, you start your day, and you pray to him. After you pray to him and everything that you wanted to say to him and everything, Lord, let me walk in your favor today. And then I want you to document, because some of y'all got these memories y'all can remember real good, but I want you to document the favor that he showed you that day. Because he'll show you some favor. There's some things that he'll do, and he'll show you his favor. Then you got to be able to capture that stuff. So I can remember a lot of mine. And so I use it as a testimony. I give the testimony, before it leaves me. But I don't forget. But ask him to let you walk in his favor tomorrow. And while you're fasting. I know some of you are going through, and it's good, Sandra. I'm glad you stayed in here with me. Sandra was like, Shania, she said, oh, Lord. This was in peace. Just give me a break while I can go and eat me a snack. I said, no, ma'am, no, you're not. Not until after the service is over. Because you got to learn how to, fasting is discipline. So you have to learn how to wait it out. And that's trusting the Lord. And he'll give you the strength to do it. He'll give you the strength to do it. And so on that note, power, prayer, is awesome. You need to use it for this fast this month. Time, talent, and treasures. And so let's stand to our feet because we're going to pray. We're going to